I'm pretty sure you've seen plenty of well-known food creators that have engaged in respectable cooking meals. But one day when you decide to watch YouTube again, you perhaps witnessed at least one or two food creators prep meals in a questionable amount of ways, which you've often felt pain to even glance at, such as this content creator named Jane Brain, where she proceeds to experiment with lots of polarizing food hacks. Or even this creator, where she actually tries edible crazy recipes that maybe viewers find more interesting in. But do you really want to know who I believe could be more pathetic than most of these food creators? This girl. And let me give you context about her. Juliette Moreno, or you can call her It's Me Juliette in general, is a celebrity star chef known for making meals in all sorts of forms for her YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram pages. She first birthed her content on February 7th, 2020, where she proceeded to establish a satirical video turning water into gourmet, which I'll admit is actually pretty comical at first. But later in 2024, she birthed her YouTube channel where she proceeded to cook up all types of creative meals. While she has an exceptional talent for prepping very unique meals in her way, and I'll level with you, most of these meals that she does make are actually questionable and universally concerning. And in this critique, I'm gonna begin tackling on the true colors that she has, as well as some positives that a viewer and I might say about her cooking. Now, while she's widely known for her unique creativity in prepping meals, the amount of content I've seen and observed from her, I'll have to genuinely open up from a matter of principle that Juliette Moreno, in my opinion, pretty much embodies the most pathetic of the food chef community. And as touched upon, there are already other unpleasant food creators who've done similar actions, but this is not focused on them. This girl takes it to an entirely new level. I'm talking about meals that are disgustingly prepped that might make you gag. The same repetitive editing style that later becomes bland as there's nothing new about it. Meals that can implicate mental instability. And lastly, meals that can be actually considered offensive, that might ruin your favorite food, that you may not consider wanting to eat it ever again. Frankly, this is literally the most accurate definition of the word slop, more than any other unpleasant food creator who's done similar to this. I mean, by scrolling through these shorts thumbnails, nearly all of these are nothing but repetitively the same editing style, the same type of cooking, and mostly the same style of voiceover scripting. All of this adding up to what I considered slop, with no healing from her to improve her content at all for the most part. And I'll give some obvious examples to demonstrate what I mean when I say all of this, even some that are seen as effortless. Here in this video, she proceeds to make coffee out of a quote-unquote empty mayo jar.
Let's make an iced coffee in this empty mayo jar. I've been seeing all over my For You page people turning their empty jars into coffee. I just have a little bit of mayo left in here and I feel like it would give the coffee just a creamier taste.
Okay, first of all, there's a product called coffee creamer, which is proven to give any type of coffee a natural creamier taste. Why even consider making coffee with remaining mayo inside?
Oh wow, that's actually really good.
Yeah, I can tell the end she sarcastically pretends to like the drink as a way to convince others to try this hack too, when in reality, it's nothing but an unexpected way to ruin coffee for someone who actually likes it. In fact, I actually have seen a news article similar to this, where a quarterback named Will Levis made a TikTok where he jokingly tries to make coffee with mayo, but when other people followed along with the footballer, they did not make a regular habit of it, linking it back to Juliette's video of how this was obviously made just for cash grabs, just like with all other slop content creators. Here's another video where Juliette and her grandma proceed to make a casserole out of leftover McDonald's. And just a huge warning, this is absolutely one of the worst ways to ruin fast food, even if you don't eat it. Be advised for this part.
Let's make my grandma's famous McDonald's casserole. When I was little, she would always turn my leftover McDonald's into the most delicious casserole. Just chop up some burgers, layer with ranch, nuggets, fries, and finish with melted American cheese. I honestly can't eat McDonald's any other way. This dish is the perfect comfort meal and so nostalgic.
Alright, for my matter of principle, I'm gonna open up and exclaim first. I don't like McDonald's at all, but from me glancing at this video, I need bleach. No, seriously, there are a lot of red flags in this video. First of all, I absolutely don't understand how her grandma approves of Juliette's cooking. Like she sides with her in believing that it's the best way to eat fast food this way. No offense to her grandma. Secondly, her story of her grandma making her a casserole out of McDonald's when Juliette was a kid just sounds obviously faked for content, as there's no way a kid would even want to enjoy that type of cooking from a kid's family, nor even consider digging into the meal. And third,
this looks disgusting.
No, seriously, I've seen similar to this by another unpleasant food creator. But this, perhaps, is the worst take on attempting to make something special with fast food. If you are a fast food fan, completely avoid this and other of her fast food hacks to save yourself. Period. Lastly, this infamous video. I believe, in my opinion, should be entitled to be one of the most offensive videos out of Juliette, and often considered racially offensive. Because in this video, she proceeds to cook up a healthier version of fried chicken with a specific fruit. And what is this specific fruit, you may ask? Drum roll, please. Watermelon. Yep, fried chicken and watermelon. I'm surprised she's not canceled for this terrible joke, but I'll let the video be the judge for you.
My boyfriend was craving fried chicken, so I'm making him a healthier version with watermelon. Just slice your watermelon and shape it into chicken drumsticks. Dip each one in flour, egg wash, and then breadcrumbs and fry until golden. Serve with ranch, and there you have a healthy fried chicken dupe that honestly might be the new Marry Me chicken.
Yeah, I'm gonna level with you youngins. I genuinely don't know what to even say about this video. I don't know what goes through her head and believe that this is okay to produce a video about something offensive to a particular race, and yet again, using the video to cash grab because YouTube somehow approves it for the monetization program. Making a video joking with racism is not considered funny, let alone even be a good cash grab at all. Joking with two food items that were heavily associated with historic racism is genuinely disgusting, and as an African individual, this was definitely unexpected from her, and even back then when she first shared this video, I was actually hoping that she didn't use anything that would be racially associated, but she did anyway. I'm clearly sure that she's aware of the two food combined items being associated with racism, and yet she still proceeds to produce an entire video about it, believing that it would be an amazing joke. But in reality, it's a very cancerous joke, and even the comments from every platform would agree with the same thing. I know you might be thinking I'm overreacting over a so-called joke video, but this actually has been a racial term since the roots in the American Civil War, as one of the traditional slave foods. Both of these food stereotypes were considered an anti-African American racist trope, and by mentioning those two foods, even implications, people would still be reminded of the history of this, that even myself wouldn't want to hear at all as an African American. Alright, that adjustment on that video was pretty deep of me for my chest, but let's talk about the other aspects of her that are just slop. In contrast to disgusting meals, I've also discovered other recipes that she made that are often considered bland and basically non-special for these videos to even exist in the first place. I won't be going through all of these videos, but here's some that I believe are more obvious. Like in this video where she proceeds to make fried chicken with only Monster Energy coating. Not only is the chicken potentially ill, but once again, just indeed lazy. Or in this video, where she proceeds to wash off the leftover pasta and bakes it to make it fresh again, and reuses the box to store the new pasta in. Like, what's legitimately the point of this hack she's trying to educate others with? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Another video where she proceeds to make casual ice cream, but instead replaces the base with mashed potatoes, fairly uninteresting and mostly a cash grab. This other video, she proceeds to casually make a normal sandwich, but paints blue and white speckles on the bread slices to give it that moldy look. Another filler video, as you can already buy moldy sandwich bags online. Lastly, if you have a cold, you should mostly avoid this, as in this video, she proceeds to casually make chicken soup, but puts them in popsicles to freeze overnight, and then you can eat them like normal popsicles. How do you even consider believing that this can help you fight back the cold virus? This video has nothing special in terms of the casual recipe to making actual good chicken soup that can literally help your immune system out. And instead, it just feels like a rushed assignment that you submitted at least 30 minutes before the deadline, so you still manage to expect a high grade from your instructor. Like, there's no rush on making content and trying to cash grab from it, my girl. Lastly, before I conclude this chapter, I want to address the style of her editing. I mean, if you glance at all of her content in one sitting, despite some different videos where she makes meals in real time like her morning coffee one, and others that have no commentary in them, literally the editing is all the same. The B-roll, script voiceover, and the concluded fake reactions are literally all the bloody same. And while it may not be a big deal to someone who probably enjoys her content, It just shows a lack of special creativity later on in her career. And yet again, one word, slop. Occasionally, she can post more than once in a single day as if she's doing it to keep her market running and gain more profit. It makes it feel like most of her videos are just nothing but cash grabs. If her recipes are very simple, it's even possible that she used AI to write satire chef meal ideas along with a voiceover script for her and proceeded to make that meal and use that said script to voiceover in her editing software with yet again the same editing style that can later be perceived as repetitive. Then she puts that online, rage baiting more viewers just for clout and just calls it a day. Literally a tactic that most low-quality content creators do online. This method is considered a lack of effort and originality, and to add sprinkles on top, plagiarizing at best if you don't actually put in ounces of effort.
Now, here's the deal with this.
I'm absolutely aware that all of her videos are just jokes and laughs for entertainment, because that's how social media is. But from my safety side, if I were her and all of those unpleasant content creators, I would always prioritize thinking twice and processing what would happen if you execute that action. What would be the consequences of it, as well as not even try to represent slop content to fall into cancel culture, because you don't know if a consequence could happen in real life. I think I discussed enough about talking about her true colors, and I believe it's time to transition to the next chapter, the positivity about her. Now, despite all of the flaws from her, considering she represents slop, surprisingly, there are other videos sprinkled around her page that are actually positively received, as the recipes she makes in those are universally considered edible and perhaps a must-try. Even I believe these recipes look fire and amazing. Despite the same type of B-roll footage, the voiceover script, and the repetitive editing style, this is where the shift to make actual good content comes in place. However, that window is unfortunately very brief, but the meals she made in those videos will make it up entirely. Like in this video, she proceeds to cook s'mores, but instead of graham crackers as the base, she replaces it with chocolate bars instead, a decent alternative to the nostalgic American s'more. Another video is where she casually prepped donuts made out of ice cream and frosted them with more chocolate. And I must say, this looks like a genuine must-try for most viewers and me. And this one? This could literally be my personal favorite out of her, is that she proceeds to make cinnamon roll ice cream cones. As someone who's hyper-fixated on cinnamon, this take on the recipe could literally become a must-try for me for the future. Even the viewers agree with this type of brief shift. This type of genuine content actually falls into one of the above-average meals. It's not top-tier level, but on her side, I'll justify this. Another thing I've discovered is that there was only one video where she actually was self-aware of, where she proceeded to add frozen chicken to his drinks, as one of her comments convinced her that by adding meat into drinks can help add protein to them. But instead, she takes the frozen meat to cook it instead, advising the viewers to not actually do what the commenter said.
Someone in my comments gave me the genius idea of adding frozen chicken into my drinks to meet my protein goal, so let's try it. I added my frozen chicken into my water, and time for the taste test. Just kidding, we're gonna cook this chicken. Don't add frozen chicken into your drinks, please.
This was indeed the very only time where she was actually self-aware of this dare, especially a rare one, not counting the edible tasting meals. I do wish she was more self-aware on some other videos where she preps up inedible foods, like the wrapping paper hack she did months ago. However, I'm unsure if the advising part was perhaps a joke too, judging from how she delivers content, but I'm gonna let that one out of my chest. If there's something else that can possibly make up for all of the polarizing meals she makes just for content, is that I would want to see a day in the life of her out of curiosity, so we can get a little more new content rather than just her cooking, with genuine integrity. So we don't have to end up painting her as one of those wildcard creators where they do nothing but produce the bloody repetitive content that is deemed low quality just to cash grab with providing any other content that could save these creators from the rot. There's a little ounce of good advantages from what I've observed, but to be honest, I frankly understand why she chose this path of being a chef comedian and her take on modeling her content. Especially when it comes to the short amount of attention span that people have when glancing at a video, is to shift to only post many shorts as possible to at least get a full watch time presentation or creativity with food and still make money from it. This is a method that other low-quality content creators do when they're often experimenting with what topics, subjects, and whatever is on their mind, so they have the high motivation to produce quick, decent videos out of that to talk about them individually. which can sometimes perform decently if you want to get straight to the point, in contrast to making an in-depth, long-form video to talk about many details about anything, which is highly known to gain a lot more positivity from what I've seen. I actually do honor how she makes content, but the only priority is to at least try to be careful about what you share online, even if you might perceive it as jokes, as touched upon earlier. But that's all I can say about the redeeming side. In the end of this critique, while Juliette does have lots of flaws, even to representing Slop, there are still good advantages with how she tends to try to paint herself as a chef comedian, especially having raw confidence in making full, tasty, must-try meals, which can lift that slop away for that individual video and bring positive criticism towards the presentation of the meal, despite that window being brief. But overall, this was just to address one of the content creators who are at risk for cancel culture, and yet again, their true colors. I've known this content creator since 2024, and while I didn't have a problem with how she's delivering her content back then, in 2025, I did notice a drop in quality on what types of meals she shares, and shifted to put more risk on sacrifices their page for cash grabs, like all the McDonald's life hack videos she made. I didn't believe I had to entitle myself to become one of those victors on discussing about her personality by making a video about it, but frankly, this was something I wanted to get off my chest. Rarely you'll see me discuss more about other individuals who are risking themselves for possible cancel culture, but time will tell. And so with that, finally out of the way. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like if you enjoyed it, comment if you want to suggest or leave me feedback, and subscribe for more random content. And I'll see you ladies and gentlemen in the next video. Have an amazing day.